Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question was suggested by a colleague. Amy controls Magus of the Moon, and she plays Dark Depths. Then she casts Flicker on the Magus of the Moon. Does she get a 20/20? Okay, so to start off, if you play Dark Depths while you have Magus of the Moon out, then the Dark Depths will not get any ice counters as it entered. I talked about this in my recent video about how Blood Moon interacts with Shocklands, so you can check that out if you're interested in a full explanation. For now, let's just take for granted that the Dark Depths has no ice counters on it and explore how the rest of this scenario plays out. As long as the Magus of the Moon is in play, Dark Depths will be a mountain, and part of what that means is that it loses all of its other normal abilities, including the one that triggers when it has 0 ice counters on it. However, the important fact that we need to know for this question is that triggered abilities do not work like casting spells or state-based actions, which the game can only do at certain specific times. Rather, any time the game state matches what it says in Dark Depths' trigger condition, that ability will trigger. It's worth pointing out that this particular triggered ability has some special handling related to the fact that it triggers off of a specific game state existing rather than some specific event happening in the game. But the general principle that I just described works the same regardless. So let's go through exactly what happens in the game step by step. First, Flicker will exile the Magus of the Moon. Once this happens, all the non-basic lands will stop being mountains, so the Dark Depths ability will come back. The game will see that it has no ice counters, so that ability will trigger. Then, Flicker will return the Magus of the Moon to the battlefield. At this point, Dark Depths goes back to just being a mountain. After Flicker finishes resolving and goes to Amy's graveyard, the game will put Dark Depths trigger onto the stack, where it will go on to resolve entirely normally, sacrificing Dark Depths and giving Amy a 20/20. There are some triggered abilities that require their conditions to be true at other times, like when the ability is put on the stack, or when it's resolving. But Dark Depths is not one of them. For more information about these kinds of triggered abilities, check out my video where I compare the templating on Burning Sun Cavalry with Tilinali's Knight. Okay, a more common way for this principle to come up would be if you had a game state that satisfied the trigger condition but only momentarily. For example, if we got rid of the Magus of the Moon and we play a Dark Depths normally, it will have 10 ice counters on it. Then, if we played some spell that moved the ice counters to another permanent but then brought them back, the Dark Depths would still trigger, and the trigger would still give you a 20/20 for the exact same reason as the original scenario. I talked about a similar situation in my video on Marrow and Winds of Change if you'd like some more practice with this concept. That's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling. Until then, I hope you have a great day.